Special day to be here. זה היום עשה השם, נגיע ונשמחה בו. The yahrzeit of the Arizal, I grew up in Tzfat. Since I was a kid, was always the most festive day of the whole year. I remember when we were kids on my parents' street, my parents have a little porch on Rav Ari. And in the summer, it's so hot that all the kids used to sleep on the porch. Every night in the summer. Stay on the porch. And I remember the Arizal's yahrzeit was unbelievable because back then in Tzfat there was no cars, there was nothing here. But that Arizal's yahrzeit you saw was traffic all night. It was very, very special. Laila kayom ya'ir. It was a day that shone, a night that shone like the day. So we're connecting to the Kedusha of the Ari HaKadosh. And the Ari HaKadosh writes on the pasuk, Torat Adonai temima meshivat nefesh. Edut Adonai ne'emana machkimat peti. The pasuk in Tehillim, Perek Yutet, David HaMelech is praising the Torat Hashem, and he praises it in 6 praises. Torat Hashem ne'emana, and he calls it different names. One of the names is Edut Adonai ne'emana machkimat peti. The Torat Hashem temima meshivat nefesh. You learn Torat Hashem. You learn the Torah of Hashem. It's temimah, it's complete, it's whole, it's holy. Meshivat nefesh, it takes the nefesh back from where it is in this world and returns it, brings it home. But there's another level. Edut Adonai ne'emana. Machkimat peti. A person can learn Torah, can learn a lot of Torah, maybe even teach Torah. But there's another level called edut, testimony. Am Yisrael, the pasuk, the mission statement, so to speak, of Am Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. We wake up in the morning with this, we go to sleep with this, we have this in our Brit Milah, we have it at 120. This pasuk, everyone knows, has 2 outstanding letters. There's an Ayin, a big Ayin in Shema, and a big Daled of Echad. And these 2 words, Ayin and Daled, is a witness, a testimony. Am Yisrael is here to give edut of Hashem, not just to learn about Hashem. To be edim, atem edai neum Hashem. You are my witnesses. So the Ari HaKadosh writes on this pasuk that edut Hashem goes on the al chokmat Kabbalah. There's Torah Hashem. I could learn Torah, but where do I learn godliness itself? Where can I learn a witness can't be ed mipi ed. I can't testify in court what I heard from you. I testify my experience. Where do I experience God? Where do I get to a level that I could walk out and give edut? I was there, I saw, I heard. Edut. So the Torah of Kabbalah is called edut Hashem. And if a person thinks that there's philosophy and wisdoms, and then there's Kabbalah. So you would think that if a person studies philosophies and wisdom, that sharpens the mind. Because you have to really use your mind, your intellectual tools. But Kabbalah is emunah. Emunah, what you say, receiving. You would think that type of Torah doesn't develop a person to the highest level. And that's what he says, Edut Adonai ne'emana machkimat peti. That the Edut of Hashem, the Torah of Kabbalah, is not just, okay, I hear, you're saying there's Sfirot, you're saying there's Olamot, okay, we can't ask, we're listening. It's not just like that. This Torah goes into a person and brings a person on a level that he could reach what's called Edut Hashem. And Edut means that I become a witness, that I'm experiencing a first-hand experience that I could testify later on. I could give the heat to others, I could give the information to others. So we'll look a little bit, a couple of Inyanim Kedoshim of the Ari, because sometimes when you study biographies of tzaddikim, it could just show you the distance that you have between you and them, and you just say, forget about it. Wow, this guy said a bracha on his mother's milk. Like, I forget to say a bracha on my coffee. Forget about it, I'm out of here, there's no way. But we always have to learn from tzaddikim. So the Ari was an angel in a body of a human, even in his lifetime. Kavachomer us. So the big, when you come to such a big kedusha, to take home, to bring in, these tzaddikim weren't here to chas v'shalom to meyash a person, to show him the distance. The Adrabah, they were here to love and to bring. So this is Rav Chaim Vital is bringing down. הנה צריך אדם בעת קיומו כל מצווה ומצווה, או בהתעסקו בתורה. Every person, this is an haga for every person, for everyone. Every mitzvah that they do, every mitzvah, doesn't make a difference with them. Maybe you're just believing in Hashem, kibbutz avim, tzedakah, lo mishneh, whatever the mitzvah that you're doing at that moment. Or learning Torah. You're learning Torah right now. או כשמתפלל התפילה, להיות שמח וטוב לב, יותר מכאשר מרוויח או מוצא 1,000 דינרי זהב. Imagine that you find, you're digging in your, digging in your field, and you find a treasure with 1,000 דינרי זהב. Like, wow, it's gewalt. Pretty good day. What a feeling, right? Imagine that feeling. More than that, it should be the constant feeling of a person in an involvement in Torah and mitzvot. כמו שמצינו על החכם ההוא אביי, והבקיים קם מדי רבא, והכבד הכתובה, we find in the Gemara that Abaye was very, very happy, extremely happy. אמר תפילין כמה נחנה. I'm wearing tefillin. I'm wearing tefillin. וזה הפירוש הפסוק, תחת אשר לא עבדת את אדוני אלוהיך בשמחה ובטוב לבב מרוב כל. Arizal brings in a different place, a very deep pirush on this pasuk. This is actually a very, very deep pasuk to mitbonen, to look in. Parashat Ki Tetzeh. The Torah teaches Am Yisrael, Hashem teaches Am Yisrael all the good that happens to the world and to the entire creation when Am Yisrael keeps Torah and mitzvot. And Hashem teaches Am Yisrael all the curses, all the negative, horrible, 98 horrible conditions that the world could get to. And at the end, the Torah goes on and saying, why? How? Why do you get this? Have such a beautiful nation? Banim atem la'Hashem Elokeichem. How do you get to this low level that you're getting 98 curses from the Creator of the world? How? Why? And the pasuk says, "Tachat asher lo avadat et Hashem Elokecha besimcha u'b'tuv levav merov kol." Because you didn't serve Hashem, you did all the mitzvot, you did everything, but you didn't do it besimcha u'b'tuv levav. What does that mean? The question is even stronger. When I did the mitzvot, I didn't do it besimcha. I'm not a chassid. I'm not a gevald. That's all the klalot. Says the Ari Kadosh. The word tachat means instead of, ayin tachat ayin. He says, you weren't happy when you did a mitzvah, right? You weren't happy. Where is your happiness? You're happy with something else. Your happiness is not here. Instead of here, it's somewhere. You're happy from something. From what? Instead of what? What did you choose that was better than this mitzvah? That means that if a person is apathic and everything, he's not doing nothing. But you have happiness in other areas of your life. You feel good in other areas of your life. Just the mitzvot, no? We have to bring back the mitzvot and the happiness, do the shidduch of the mitzvot and the simcha. That a person tells himself, and this is really tremendous inyan of hachana. We're all doing mitzvot all the time. All the time. To bring hachana, to really prepare the mind before, to ask yourself, what am I doing in this world? Kama hachana a person needs to get excited from a mitzvah. Because we get excited from things that excite our nefesh. But if I want my nefesh, if I want my spirit to be in happiness, there's avodah of hachana, preparing myself. תשמח יותר מכאשר תרוויח כל ממון שבעולם. יותר. So this is one nekuda to, I'm talking for myself, to try in my own life, to redeem my happiness, to bring the happiness, to make the happiness shine in the right places. How many times do people laugh from the wrong things and cry from the wrong things? How many people you see living just like okay lives, like Gavad, you should be crying. Or maybe Gavad, you should be mamish rejoicing. Like, where are your emotions with your life? To bring, this is one big nekuda that even though the Arizal is mamish high in the sky, but you see that this is Reb Chaim was made on him, that his levels that he reached was because of this avodah. And you see, it's amazing, these tzaddikim, they discovered tremendous discoveries. But this became property of the public. Baal Shem Tov and Chassidus made Simcha Shel Mitzvah a lifestyle, a focus, an emphasis. Meaning, if you would understand all the secrets of the Torah, you would understand, wow, you should be so happy. But we can't understand all the secrets right away where a person's in development. But we trust these tzaddikim, that these, when they reached the highest, This is the avodas that they told us to emphasize on. Bringing back the happiness into my mitzvot. When was the last time I was happy that I had emunah in Hashem? Huh? You believe in God, you don't believe in God. Are you happy about it? It's not a big deal. Like, what do you mean? That's the purpose of your whole life. That to take my conscious mind, my mind that Hashem gave me right now, that I have bechira, that I could use anything, and to make it available, to remember Kudsha Brichu, to remember that there's one King, one God that loves me, that's seeing me. And now imagine I tell my heart, holy emotions. Let's rejoice in this mitzvah. This is where I should be happy, in this moment. There's nowhere to go. The Baal Tanya writes in Tanya that when a Yid has emunah, in Perek Lamed Gimel he writes, that a person could just rejoice, live in an absolute joy just from the mitzvah of emunah. Imagine tapping into this. Tapping into the excitement that my conscious mind is believing. Believing is not a passive, it's an active. I'm taking my mind, I'm applying it, I'm taking my mind away from everything that's trying to... The world is constantly schlepping a person to all directions. Versus, no, I'm believing in the creator of the world. I'm making my thoughts right now about him. I'm remembering, I'm mitbonen bo. And I'm happy about this. I'm so happy that I have the zchut during this life to remember and have emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This does tremendous peulot in the nefesh, because the mitzvot are not here just as random instructions. The mitzvot are mamish here to give us the edut Hashem, to bring us to a level that we experience Yud Kei Vav Kei. The knowledge that we're talking about is not intellectual, it's not academic, it's knowledge of experience. The mitzvot, the lifestyle that a person goes through transforms and elevates them to become Yud Kei Vav Kei mamish. This is one nakuda. Okay. And we'll jump into one more small thing. So now, the Arizal was mamash a doctor, amongst many things. But mamash, if you look at the description, a real holy doctor, a soul doctor. You know, you guys heard of Shivcha Ari. You see people come to the Ari, and that was his minhag. Imagine that's his minhag. That he looks at a person and he tells him what his pasuk is, what his inyan is, what to say. That was his inyan. He was here to look to do what all the tzaddikim are here to do, to awaken every single soul, to bring it to its highest potential, to reveal a likus. So now, what stops the godliness? The Or Ein Sof, Hashem is constantly shining and giving. There's no meniyah, there's no withholding from the Creator. The only withholding, if there's a creation that's suffering or a creation that's in darkness, it's from the receiver's point of view, that they're not receiving the light as it's given from the Creator. וידוע שהחטא, a sin, פגם וכתם וחלודה בנפש. Every person has a nefesh, a spirit, and we're going to see that this spirit is meant to see. כשהיא בתינופה אינה יכולה לראות ולהשיג השלמות האמיתי. The nefesh HaKadosha, even though it's in this world, in a goof, Hashem allows it to remember and to see the shleimus, to remember there's a purpose. But when Shem Sodot HaTorah, kedei lidabek b'tzura, so a person could reach dveikus. But when a person is in a state that they're not clean, then they can't see. They can't see. לכן שואלים אותה, ציפית בשיעור קומה? שם סודות התורה. והעוון נעשה מסך ומבדיל בינה לבין קונה. Every avon, every sin, every wrong behavior, wrong thought, wrong action that a person's involved in, disturbs their form, removes their form from the Or Ein Sof. The Or Ein Sof doesn't shine the light directly into the nefesh. לראות ולהבין בדברים העליונים קדושים וטהורים. Like it says, תורת אדוני תמימה משיבת נפש, שמשיבה אותה במקומה להידבק החלק בכל. The Torah is מדבק את החלק בכל. Amazing words. חלק, part, כל, all. הנפש השנית בישראל היא חלק אלוהה ממעל ממש. Right? Every nefesh of us, we're a chelek, we're an aspect, we're a being of the kol, of the whole. Each one of us is coming into a body, coming into his own experience. But when a person learns Sodot Torah, even though they're a chelek, they're midabek in the kol. They're a prat, but they're still in the cloud because they're out of the illusion of the prat. The secrets of the Torah open up your eyes to realize that there's a cloud, that Am Yisrael is one, that you're a part of a cloud. That lifts you to be a clown. When the nefesh is in a state of impurity, she can't see. And the holy images, the holy lights, the holy ideas that are coming out of heaven, out of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, can't shine in her. If you have a mirror, imagine this scene. He's comparing our nefesh in the sense to a copper mirror. Like a copper mirror. So if you have a beautiful, shiny copper mirror, so anything shining into it, the images will come out nice. The images will be able to see. If I have a mirror, I could see everything in the mirror of what's happening. In one mirror, you could see the whole world. But what if the mirror is dirty? Then you're not going to see the shapes. So the mirror, the nefesh that we have is a mirror to be masig olam asel yonim. And when a nefesh is in lichluch, is in tinuf, is in distance, then his mirror is dirty. And he can't see. כשזכה עובר אז נראים בה הדברים והצורות כתיקונם. ככה נפש כשהיא טהורה וזכה, אז מצטיירים בה הדברים הקדושים העליונים. Means that Hashem Yitbarach in the high worlds, there's always things happening, it's very dynamic, very real, very alive. And these actions and decisions of all the Batei Din Elyonim affect all the worlds till this world, and affect me. The Gemara says, "En adam nokef etzba'o milamata, ela im ken machrizin alav milamala." If you stumble your finger, stumble it. Did you hear the announcements in the heavenly courts before? There were first announcements. Nothing happens down here. There's ishtalshalut. If it happened here, you know what had to happen before for it to happen here? From Ein Sof till the Metziut? Oof. So the nefesh is the nefesh chelek Elohim imal mamish. We should know what Hashem is deciding at every minute. The nefesh is chelek Elohim imal mamish. You're one. Why don't we know? Why don't we see? Why not? It doesn't make sense that we don't see, that we don't know. We're nefesh elokit. The mirror is dirty. The nefesh itself is busy, it's dirty, it's involved, it's not available to receive all that information. It's happening, but where is the receiver? Not only that, when a nefesh is involved in sin, then every bitter becomes sweet to it. Just like a sick person. אוהב הדברים הטובים, מואס הדברים הטובים, ואוהב הדברים המכבדים החולים. The condition of a sickness is not just that you're sick. It's like a valid, you're sick, but it's deep sickness. That the sickness transforms inside of you your values, and now you want bitter. And I give you sweet, you say, nah, no. I give you light, you say, no, that's darkness. When I give you darkness, you say, oh, that's light, give me more of this. So the sin is putting the attention, a person's putting in attention in a selfish, wrong place, and then his priorities change, looking at the world. He's looking for different things in the world. He's not looking for godliness. והרופא, the holy doctor, לקרב לו הבריאות, נותן לו סמנים, gives him medicine. מהם כלענה, some of them have to be very bitter. שבאותם הדברים מחזור הטבע לטבעו הראשון, בריאותו כשהיה. So this is the Akdama over here that the Arizal, that the Chaim Vital is introducing the Arizal as a soul doctor. And as a soul doctor that came to the world to prepare the world for redemption, to prepare every private individual for Geula Pratit, and to prepare the world for Geula Klalit. And we know that the Arizal writes in a different place that the tzaddikim, when they're nifter, don't stop to do the yichud that they did when they were alive. A tzaddik in his life is involved in unifying Hashem in a very specific way. Each tzaddik, Hashem gives him a vision, a shayrish, a journey, a mahalach. And the way a person dies is exactly the way they lived. And where you go, where you die, it's the same thing. Life is the choices that you're making now. These are very deep choices that a person continues on these choices after this experience of the physical. And the Ari HaKadosh, this was his minhag, that people that came to him, he was Mola Rachmanos, full of mercy and compassion and Ahavat Yisrael. And every person that came to him, even one of the biggest Rasha, he would look at him and he would say, my deepest friend, let me teach you a pasuk. Let me teach you a yichud. Let me teach you a meditation. Let me teach you how to think. Let me redeem you. He was a doctor, was a redeemer. And why is this relevant to us? Because today is his yahrzeit. And Gdolim tzaddikim b'mitatam yoter b'chayim. The tzaddikim are much more available, much more stronger. Imagine the Arizal, what he knew in Shin Lamed Beis. You know what he knows today? Oof. Baal Shem Tov writes that every day, the Kadosh Baruch Hu says a new pirush in the Zohar, Kadosh B'mativta Delayla. Every day Hashem Yitbarach teaches the Zohar in a new pirush. Every day. It's not old up there. It's fresh. Beautiful. It's fresh, exciting. It's dynamic. It's gewalt. Always. Always. Oz v'chedva b'mkomo. So since this is the Ari, my friends, the Ari is alive right this second. And he's available right this second. And he's blessing right this minute. Like it's known that the tzaddikim, like it says in the Zohar and Parshas Pinchas, that the tzaddikim go back to their kvarim, especially on the yahrzeit, and they bless people that are involved in their Torah. And this is such a deep, deep time in our generation to go down to the Ari HaKadosh and say, please, Holy Ari, look into me. Look, you're the doctor. There's a beautiful, beautiful vart. We'll finish with this. On the pasuk Va'ani Tfilah. It says, David HaMelech says in Tehillim, Va'ani Tfilah, I am davening. What does this mean? I am davening. So our Holy Reb Simcha Bunim Reb Shischa explains a beautiful mashal. He says he's a rich man, and he has a couple of visitors, people coming to him to ask him for help. So the one guy comes in, he sits at, an old friend of his, he says, oh wow, how are you? His friend says, listen, I know we're old friends and we used to make a lot of money, but things happen, this, that, I really need help. I need help in this, I need help in that. He says, no problem, he helps him out. After him, walks in another guy. This guy's a total schlepper. Total, like, he's sick, he's poor, he's dumb, like, he needs everything. And he just looks at the rich man, and he says, rich man says, what do you need? He says, just look at me. Just look at me. You'll see what I need. David HaMelech tells Hashem, there's times that we could daven. There's times that we can come to you and say, we need this. But there's times that we can't say anything. There's no speech. So then we just come to you and say, look at me, creator of the world. Look at me, doctor. Analyze me. You know everything. By the Ari HaKadosh, we have this zchut to have this experience. You don't have to say anything by him. Go to him and say, please, holy tzaddik, have rachmanut on my neshama, mechelek elokai mimar mamish. I'm in such galus, I'm in such end of 50 Sharei Tumah. You know the pasuk that I need. If you were alive right now, you would tell me with your mouth what to do. I want you to tell me, please, what to do. To go to him and to be poiled by the Ari HaKadosh. To ask him for his rachamim. We speak about this every time we speak about tzaddikim. This is a common misconception people talk about. Do you talk to the tzaddik or not? There's a Mefurish Gemara and Saita, and it's brought down in Shulchan Aruch in Hilchos Rosh Hashanah that you speak to the tzaddikim. You say Avotai when Kalev ben Yefuna, in the conspiracy of the spies, when he went up to Hebron, what did he daven? So the Gemara says in Saita, he said Avotai, Bakshu alai rachamim, shanatzel me'atzat meraglim. Please, my holy fathers, beg for compassion and mercy upon me, that I should be saved from this conspiracy of the spies. To go down to the tzaddikim and to say, please, holy Ari HaKadosh, mention everyone in your family, every name, every person. Say, we're all aspects of God. We're all put into this world. The redemption is dependent on all of us being ignited and excited and in. Yeh Ratzon that on this day, we should have the zchut to go down to the Ari HaKadosh, wherever we are. If a person has the zchut to be in Tzfat, there's no question. But the Ari HaKadosh in Shar over here speaks about Yichudim, and he says that the Yichudim don't have to be when you're on the kever of the tzaddik. And the real Baal Shem Tov and the tzaddikim, the Kamarna later on taught us deeper, that kashrut to the tzaddikim is being in love with the tzaddik. Being in love. Wanting his vision, wanting his kedusha. A person could, right now, even if you're in New York, it doesn't make a difference where you are. You could take a Zohar Kadosh or Etz Chaim, or even if you don't have, just take a sitter and just say, Ari HaKadosh, I love you. And mishtateach on his kever and say, I love you. I want to be connected to you. Have Rachmanis on my neshama. I need a doctor. Yiratzon that Hashem should give all of us refuah shlema, beautiful, beautiful healing, Ari style healing. One pasuk, one meditation, one love, one kiss, mama's shortcuts. May Hashem open us the secrets of the Torah. The secrets of the Torah should heal us and redeem us and uplift us and really bring us to Geula Pratit. Everyone should receive it in their life, a private redemption, being redeemed, having the ability to go above all your natural shortcomings and really be successful in making a relationship with Hashem. And Yiratzon that as a cosmic, as a world, we should all be zoichet to schlep up the world, to be redeemed, to choose life, to choose Hashem, to choose maturity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rav Avshi. Just a few minutes before we have Marcel. Question, your shiva is on Mashiach Ali, near Mashiach Ali.
Yeah.
Tell us something about what, for those of us that want to bring the Mashiach today, what can we do individually to make that happen?
The deeper answer is get to know Hashem. Yedi'at Elokut. Not knowing godliness as a concept, as a thing, really understanding that there's so much to know about godliness. There's so much godliness to know. That when a person knows this godliness, this is what gives a person inner redemption. The person understands that they're deep, that they're big, that they're meaningful, that every thought, every speech, nothing's trivial. Everything is holy, everything is deep. To focus on Yedi'at Hashem and Ahavat Yisrael. Getting books like the Rambam writes in the Hilchot Tshuva. Very, very amazing Rambam. He writes, Hilchos Tshuva is the guide to the Baal Tshuva. So imagine like the Rambam again, a doctor, a holy doctor. So you have Baal Tshuva, you're sitting with him 10 sessions, but the last parak of Hilchos Tshuva, the last parak, I feel like it's like the Rambam telling you, listen, if you're a Baal Tshuva, you may fall again to Averis. So what's preventative? So the Rambam says, if you want a preventative, you have to get to know Hashem. Because al pi ha'de'ah tiyeh ahava. Me'at, me'at, v'im harbe harbe. Loving God as a God in the sky, as a concept, is very nice. But getting to know, there's so much godliness to know. So much. And that creates the love. Al pi ha'de'ah tiyeh ahava. That creates the love. So that's on the one hand, the Rambam tells you, make sure to go out and find books that teach you your Creator. Learn about the Creator. He's leaving as a mission to you. You're about tshuva. You don't want to fall back into those old sins. You must be in love, my friend. Must. There's no question. Inspiration is not an option. It's a must. It's a necessity. You must be in love with God. Otherwise, you're going to sin again. Your love is going. You have to be in love. We're here to love. We're here to have fun. We're here to enjoy. If you're not enjoying the right thing, you're enjoying the wrong thing. Otherwise, you're just dead. So, getting to know Hashem. What are you learning? Ramchal, Derech Hashem. All this is waters of the Ari HaKadosh. All this is waters of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. It doesn't make a difference which door you walk in. Just get inside. Get to know Hashem. And another thing is tremendous. Learn in a deep way Ahavat Yisrael. Because one of the dangers that exists in super knowledge of God is that you think you're higher than people. Or you separate yourself from people. Even in your mind. And that's chas v'shalom. That's chas v'shalom. Of course you get to know the world through the prism of yourself. But they get the same, as much as you're investing in understanding what is God, invest much to understand what is Am Yisrael. Love of Am Yisrael should not just be, yo, I love you. Like, it should be like a deep love that's driven from as much wisdom as your Ahavat Hashem is. That means your Ahavat Hashem is going to grow by bounds by getting to know Hashem. Get to know what Am Yisrael is. Am Yisrael is not a regular concept. It's not, if you don't know what Am Yisrael, you have no idea what Hashem is. No idea. Because it all says, Oraita, Kudsha B'richu Yisrael Chad. So really getting to know Hashem, like it says in the Rambam in Chot Shuvah, and getting to know and deepen the concepts of Ahavat Yisrael. And that's really the two. That's the whole entire Torah. That's the Luchot. That's the Av Ben Adam L'Makom, Adam L'Chavero. And you see, this is the whole direction of the Arizal that he taught us before every davening to Mekabel Misat HaSeshet V'Ahavta L'Recha Kamocha. What a big deal he made out of this. Not if you think if you think that you're just redeeming yourself and you're not. It's not. It's Geulat Olam. Yeh Ratzon that Hashem should give us on this day the zchut to open up our hearts by the holy tzaddikim, and Hashem should give us chen, grace in the eyes of the tzaddikim. That the tzaddikim, they daven for the live, like it says in the Zohar many times. If it wasn't for the tefillot of the dead, the live wouldn't be here. So zchutam tegen aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, amen. Ashreinu v'tov chalkeinu.